This is the time when there's a lawn crew outside. And I would try to go set up shop somewhere else, but it's just going to be loud for a little bit. And I'm hoping that they're almost finished. Oh my gosh. So, if you're watching on the replay, I promise it does get better. They're almost done. This is why I always forget Thursday afternoons, but y'all, it's January in Texas. I thought lawn crews were done. Apparently not. Apparently not. So if it is loud today, I apologize. There's a lot going on outside with the lawn crew. So this is just a great example of if you're trying to record your podcast, you never know. A lawn crew could show up, a child could start screaming, a dog could start barking at a delivery person. Like all bets are off. You just never know what is going to happen. You can barely hear it. You're good. Good. I thought I read that wrong that you could barely hear me. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Well, we'll pretend it's like the ambiance of the room. It's just, no, they're right outside. They're really loud now. But good. I'm glad you can barely hear it. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Welcome, y'all. The word of the day is discombobulated. Okay. Do you ever have I was really bad in English in high school and in college. Actually, I don't think I took an English class in college because I did everything in high school. So everything was wrapped up by the time I got to college. But I don't have a super big vocabulary. I heavily rely on a dictionary and thesaurus and autocorrect for spelling all the time. But every once in a while, I like to use fancy words just because they make me feel smarter than I actually am. And discombobulated is one of those words. And that is exactly how I feel on all levels today. Very discombobulated. So if you ever have the discombobulated days, then you're in good company. You have come to the right place. You have arrived exactly where you're supposed to be. But I wanted to tell you about some fun things going on. So, first and foremost, hello, everybody. If you are brand new here, I'm Crystal Profit. I teach entrepreneurs how to start, launch, and market their podcast. Apparently, with lawn crews in the background, and this is my jam. This is my specialty. But the reason why I bring that up is because it's important to just put yourself out there and start talking even when you're uncomfortable. And I have a fantastic example from the last 24 hours that I wanted to share with you. So, let me put this up here. So, if you're watching on Instagram, if you hop over to Facebook or YouTube, then you'll see some of the things that I'm going to share. Y'all, I can't even look at this. I can't even finish a sentence. Let's talk podcast. There we go. Discombobulated is the word of the day. I think it's because I need my afternoon coffee. That's really what it is. But I have recently been on the app Clubhouse, and I've heard people talk about it all at the end of December. I had no idea what it was. I actually got invited on December 23rd by my good friend Melanie. She was like, hey, come on a Clubhouse. It's fun. It's where all the cool kids are hanging out. Like, it's the thing to do. And I was out of town. I was visiting family. Then we came back. It was Christmas. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to, I'm checked out from work for a while. I don't want to do anything new. I don't want to, I'm just going to step away from everything. So I've been on the app for about 2 weeks and I have not played with it whatsoever. And yeah, Melanie's like, get it together, Crystal. I'm trying to get it together. But my word of the day is discombobulated. Okay. Hi, Nyla. So happy that you're here. And I just did not do anything on Clubhouse. I've been seeing it. I've been seeing people talk about it. Melanie is actually the one that invited me. And she was like, hey, you got to come on. I was like, oh, I don't really know what to do. So I'm going to do what we all do when we start something new. We start lurking. We're like, okay, I'm going to sit in this corner and I'm going to lurk. I'm going to see what these people are doing. Like what's this person doing over here? How does this actually work? Do I want to use this? How can I use this? What's the strategy behind it? Do I need to be on this? Is this a shiny object? Like all the things that happen whenever a new platform comes on the scene. Well, I started poking around in these different rooms. And for those of you that don't know, Clubhouse is a social media platform that is audio only, completely audio only. If I wasn't on, I'm on Instagram now. If I wasn't on there, I could actually show you. And actually, there's not a ton of people. So, Instagram, I'm going to shut you off. I love you. But if you want to see the rest of this video, go to Facebook or YouTube because we're going to do a tutorial and I need my phone. So, hop on over Instagram. Okay. So I'm going to finish that and I'm actually going to publish that and it's done. Oh, wait, I gotta give it a title. Give me 1 second. I'm going to post this to IGTV. Boom. Now I'm going to show you Clubhouse. I'm going to give you a little demonstration because I've had several people say, I don't know what it is. How do I get on it? Well, I'm going to show you on here. Oh, this is going to be a little tricky. Hang on. I literally have you in my hands. You are my webcam right now, and I have you, and I apologize for any jerkiness. Oh, wait. Now you're going to be super low. Y'all, again, discombobulated is the word of the day. Hang on. Okay. So if anybody's wondering, this is my little tripod I use, and I set up my webcam. But because I'm moving things around in the middle of the stream, it's okay. It's okay. I got you. If you fall over in a second, it's 100%. Oh, there we go. It's 100% my fault, right? Who else's fault would it be? Come on, you're here in a room talking to yourself. There we go. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get. It might be a little crooked still, but here we go. All right, now I got my phone and I'm going to go to Clubhouse. Oh, it says you're missing the latest update. What? I don't even know. We're going to dismiss that. Okay. So this is what it is. It's an app, right? I'm just on my phone. If I had thought about this beforehand, I would have plugged in my phone for you to be able to see it and all the things. I don't know how to do that right now. I don't know. Melanie, if you can tell me how I can share my phone immediately, then that would be fantastic. But if it's all good, I don't even know. Yeah, Nyla. Nyla says, I love your authenticity. Yeah, well, I'll let you know when I don't really actually know what's going on, which is why the word of the day is discombobulated because I don't really know any other way to be. But hi, Juan. So happy that you're here from YouTube. Okay. So, what is Clubhouse? This is literally what I look at whenever I open it. So I guess you could call it the feed, but what it actually is a different chat room. Who remembers the old school AOL chat rooms? I heard several people say this yesterday. Like, it kind of reminds me of hopping into an AOL chat room and being like, hey, what's your ASL? If anybody remembers, your age, sex, and your location. And then people would just start chatting, and this is what this room is about. And you create rooms about this. And then it just kind of, it's really cool. However, it is audio only. So, because I want to respect people's privacy, I'm actually not going to go into a room that you can hear things, but I wanted to show you this is my profile. So hang on, let's see if we can get it. Focus. Is it gonna work? Oh no, it's not gonna work. Hang on. Y'all, this is so funny. Oh, there we go. So this is my profile. And I just put a simple, I just put like a simple profile, just like other social media platforms. And people can click on my picture whenever I'm in a room talking and they can follow me. So, and then down here, I added, oh, look, see, nominated. I joined on the 31st of December. That's what happened. So Melanie nominated me and I got to come in and hang out and talk to people. And yesterday, I hopped into a few rooms and like I said, because nothing's actually recorded in here. That's what's really cool about it. It's what I like about it. Because several people have said, well, how can you use it? And everyone's already asking, how can I repurpose this? And what can I do with this? And all the things about Clubhouse. And I'm like, hang on. Why can't we just talk about how you use the app before you go into the million different ways of strategy, right? I think that people get overwhelmed with a new platform because immediately they think, well, I should go in there and be an expert in it and I should know all the things immediately. I got to go. I should have known all this yesterday. And I'm like, hold on. Why don't we crawl before we can walk? Why don't we actually just kind of peek in? Just imagine there's a party going on in a room and you're like, are those my people? Do I really want to go in this? Hang on, peek in. Do I know anybody in there? Are people talking loudly? Are people screaming at each other? Is this a place where I need to say, I'm going to tread lightly? I'm just going to sit. I'm going to be a wallflower and I'm going to sit against the wall. Or should I raise my hand and say, hey guys, I want to talk. I have something to say. So there are lots of opinions and lots of things going on this app. And from my experience, I have been in a few different rooms now. I actually was on one as like a guest speaker. So I could start a room and have a panel, if you will. Imagine like a live event. You're walking in, there's a discussion group going on. Let's call it a lecture hall. That's even better. Okay. It's not a live event where you feel all stuffy, but like a comfortable lecture hall. Let's pretend we're all in casual clothes. We're not done up. We don't have high heels and all the fancy things on. We are just comfortable. We're comfortable in our own skin. I have on a baseball t-shirt and tights today. Okay. I'm comfortable. This is what I would be wearing every day anyway, because I go for comfort over anything else. But that's just me. But if you're all sitting around and you have this panel of people who are talking about things. So I created a room about podcasting because it's what I know, right? I could do one on parenting if I wanted to. I could do it about 1,000 other things. I could do it about lawn people interrupting the broadcast of a podcast, which, is just all kinds of things because we all experience that. Like how people would say, I feel so seen. My neighbor always mows his lawn right in the middle of recording a podcast. That's another fun one we can do one day. But I just think that it's really cool to have the opportunity to only communicate with your voice. That's the thing. There's no pictures. There's not a feed of people going by and videos and text and images and all. Like it's not there. It's just people talking, literally talking. And did I put them up? So I have AirPods, but I did not want to use them because I'm always afraid they're going to die. Let's just be honest. I'm always like, did I charge those? Are they going to work? These are the ones that came with my phone. And they have, oh, look, they're nice and beautifully tangled. So I put these in when I'm on the app because I want it to sound good, right? I want it to sound great. So I'll plug in this to my phone. I get on the app. Well, I started a room today. It made me really nervous. Actually, I did one yesterday, but it was like I was kind of on a high of being in another room. And I'll share both experiences, but hang on one second. So okay. So Melanie's telling me I have to have an app to share your phone screen to the computer. So I know you can do it on Zoom. That was something that I learned recently. But with the StreamYard setup, I need you to help me figure out how we can do that because that would be very, very helpful. Yeah, one says it's totally me, need to crawl first. And I think that we all do, right? Like everyone kind of eases into situations or they jump off the cliff. It depends on the situation for me. I don't want to say I always jump off the cliff because I don't, especially in real life. I'm like, did anybody else break their neck first? Okay. Is there blood coming up? Are there sharks down there? That's when I'll decide if I'm actually going to jump off a physical cliff. But for other things like this, it's my voice. I feel super comfortable already speaking. So I thought, why not? What's the worst that can happen? No one shows up, right? Or I end up in a room talking to myself. Oh, wait, hang on. I've been practicing for this for 2.5 years because it's what I do on a weekly basis whenever I'm podcasting. So Harold, so happy that you're here. Good afternoon, first time viewer. So happy that you're here. I'm assuming you're probably Central Eastern time zone. That's another thing. Like, tell me in the comments where everybody is watching from. Are you a new time viewer? Have you been around for a while? Tell me in the comments where you're watching from because I know we have kind of everybody dispersed over the US and we have some international friends here too. So tell us in the comments. But thanks for being here, Harold. But I wanted to tell y'all about my experience yesterday on being in a room and speaking up on Clubhouse and then starting my own room and the different emotions I went through because that was really interesting. It's almost like another social experiment, right? I was super nervous to talk in someone else's room because I thought, "Oh my gosh, what if they call on me?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, or I have no clue because I'm in their room, right? It's their expertise. They are talking about their business, their industry or whatever, and I'm just kind of a bystander, but I had something to say at one point. So you can hit a button that says raise your hand. So I raise my hand to talk, and it's like they pull you up on stage and you have the ability to start talking or to mute yourself. So I stayed muted for a long time and I thought, do they call on you? Like what actually happens in here? I don't know what's going to happen in here. And I kind of just watched again, even though I was on stage, I kind of just waited to see what was going to happen. I was letting the other people who had been on the app kind of take the lead and show me what they were doing. And then finally it was my turn. They were like, "Hey, did you have something to add to that, Crystal? Or we're so happy you're here." And I was just very honest. And I said, "I don't know what I'm doing here, but here I am." Like it's kind of like I walked into the party and everybody was really friendly and they invited me to come take a seat. And they're like, "Introduce yourself." I'm like, "Okay, what do I say?" I know podcasting. I know my name, I know where I'm from, and I know podcasting. These are the things that I can talk about. So I wasn't like overly in your face. I've seen other people immediately start the promotion stuff. And I'm like, no, none of that. I don't want to be a part of that. And I've had several people that are just like, "Oh, like, here's my podcast and go follow me on Instagram. And yeah, we do this amazing thing. This is our product. And these are all the things." And I'm already like, can I mute you? Like immediately, like turn you off because I don't want any part of that. We already have so much of that information coming at us all the time. I'm just here to learn and to see what this is all about. So, from my experience in these other rooms, I went and started my own room. I titled it Podcasting in 2021 because I didn't know what else to title it. I put some emojis in there. I'm like, "Oh, we'll put a microphone and some headphones. That way people know what this is actually like, what we're going to be discussing." Um, and I hit start room. So it's kind of like if you're on Facebook, it's like hitting the go live button, right? And it's the first time you do it, you're like, how's this actually going to work? Do I have a booger on my face? Like, like what's going on? Does it look right? Is there dirty laundry behind me? Are there dishes all in the sink? Like all the things that run through your head. Like when you go live for the first time on Facebook or any other like Instagram, anything like that. And I didn't have that rush of emotion of worrying about myself. I just kept thinking, what if no one shows up? These are the thoughts that kept coming. What if I literally am in a room talking to myself? Because as soon as you go in the room, like you're live, just like I hit live, okay, go live here. I was live and I sat there and it was just me. It was just me for a solid probably minute and a half. Thank goodness I had someone join me after about that time. But then there were two of us, and she didn't really know a whole lot more than I did. She'd been on the platform for a while, but she hadn't started doing a whole bunch of really sophisticated things. So I felt good. I was like, okay, this is our safe bubble. Nobody come in and pop our bubble because we're just admitting that we're vulnerable and we don't know actually what's going on and we don't know how to use these things. And she gave me a crash course in the things that she knew about the platform. And I was so grateful because then more people kind of started piling in. And I thought, okay, I think I got this. Maybe I don't really know how to do anything. I start clicking buttons. And before I knew it, thank goodness, my good friends Melanie and Heather came to bail me out because they were asking me questions like, "Hey, did you reset the room? And did you make this person a moderator? Did you know you can demote this person? Are you going to do Q&A? Did you do this?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm shutting down. I was literally just so overwhelmed. Mether. Well, there you go, Heather and Melanie. I gave you all a new nickname, Mether. y'all were texting me, thank goodness, and saying, hey, this is what this means. And this is how you do it, because they'd already been on the platform and they had gone before me and shown me the things that I needed to understand just to get going. And it made me think about new podcasters, and it made me think about being a business owner and just trying new things and always being open to possibilities of what could happen. I don't know what this app's going to do. I don't know that I'm going to keep being super active on it. I don't know if it's going to be the next greatest thing, but I do know I'm glad that I tried it because it got me out of my comfort zone. And from time to time, I think that we need to get out of our comfort zone. So if you are thinking about starting your podcast and you need that little push, this is my push to tell you I'm still getting out of my comfort zone. Even though I know a lot about podcasting, I don't know everything there is to know about podcasting or all audio platforms, but I'm still learning. I'm still willing to learn. And I think that that is like the biggest difference between someone who's kind of closed off and hard to listen to, learn from, and someone who is like, I just know it all. I don't need to try anything new. Everything's working beautifully. Those are usually the people that get cut off at the knees because they're not paying attention to all the other things that are happening everywhere. So that's really what I want to share with you today. I'm so just blown away by all the things that I've learned in a 24-hour period. I got a crash course on everything. So I want to run down the list real fast. So one is in Sacramento, California. So you're on Pacific time. Harold's in New Jersey. He's on Eastern time. Emma, I would pretend like I don't know what time zone you're in, but I do know that it's later for you than it is for me right now because we've had calls. I know Emma, she's one of my OGs, been around here in the podcast space for a while. So has Nyla. So Nyla, 7:15 there. So I would guess that you and Emma are, I don't know if you're in the same time zone, but you're close. I do know it is evening there for both of you. Yeah, so it's 2:17 here for Harold. And he's saying it's like CB radio from the 70s, except CB radio was purely social, no marketing. Yeah. I mean, and that's really what I've already heard many conversations about. How can we record this? How can we take the audio from this room and make it into something? And I'm not thinking that at all. All I'm thinking is, how can I use this to have honest conversations with people that I don't know, people that I already know that I can know a little bit better? Or how can I invite my friends for all of us to have a collective, honest conversation? I could care less about more content. I don't need more content. Okay. I have so many things that I believe should be shared, but not that. The reason is because when you start telling people, oh, this is going to be recorded, like this is going to be so amazing, we're going to put it on, we're going to get millions of followers and all the things. And I'm just like, time out. I have no desire for any of that. I really don't, because that's what we're doing here right now. Like, this is going to be recorded. People can watch it later. They can always go follow up. They can go find more content online. There is not a shortage of content on the internet. Okay. But there is a shortage of connection and honest conversation and being vulnerable in, it's weird because I'm going to say this, but it's the authentic vulnerability. Because we see people saying, oh, I'm being so vulnerable. I'm putting it myself out there. But it's like, yeah, but you're just doing it to get a rise out of the people you're talking to. You're not actually being vulnerable and authentic in the way that it actually matters. So going back, I still see Nyla's comment is like, I love your authenticity. And I'm like, I don't know any other way to be than who I am. And this is who I am. Like, I'll just be the first one to tell you that I'm trying new things. I'm experimenting. I don't know all the things. I don't know even half the things. Like, let's just be honest. I don't even know all the things that go into, running an online business from A to Z and all the things that you need to know, every single thing in between, because that's not my jam. That's not my jam is podcasting. And I know what works for me. Actually, we were having a discussion in the group, and there was another gentleman who is a podcast consultant, and he runs his own podcast. and we had very differing opinions, and it was so refreshing. Oh, it was so refreshing. I loved that he would say, like, well, I agree with some of that, but actually I do it this way instead because it opened my eyes to new possibilities of what could happen. So, again, I don't really have all the answers of how we can use this and how we can, like I already know people have already asking me, how can we use this for our podcast? How can we? And I'm like, how can you use it for yourself? How can you just purely be indulgent in something new that has nothing to do with monetization and growth and finding new people and doing all these things? How instead can you just try it out because you're curious about it? Right? Like Snapchat, perfect example. People went like crazy for Snapchat. I never got on it. I think I created a profile at one point, but then I was like, that just sounds like a lot of work because that's not my thing. It's not really, it wasn't for me. But this app where you can start conversations, because that's generally what I purely enjoy with podcasting is honest conversations. It's talking about things and it's, let's just be really honest. Like, let's break it down to bare bones. I love talking and I'm not afraid to say that. I've loved talking since I was a little kid. And now I understand a way that I can use my skills with talking and steering conversations and having authentic interviews and really putting systems into place to make things work. How can I use that? Well, I can use that in podcasting. So that's really all that I wanted to come on here and chat with you about today. If y'all are watching, if you have any questions, let me know. We have time for a quick Q&A. Otherwise, I mean, I am going to play on the app more. I'm going to be playing on Clubhouse a little bit more, but I just know that I'm not going to pretend like I know all the things because I don't. I don't. I've hosted 2 rooms. I've learned some. I think I might host another one tomorrow. But the thing that kind of sucks about it is it's only for iPhone users. And I didn't know that until someone told me yesterday. They're like, oh, well, we're leaving out a big chunk of the Android audience because it is strictly for iPhone. But I know that that will be coming. I just don't know when. So I have more questions than I have answers. Believe me. So don't come to me for answers. I don't have them. I'll just tell you right now, I do not have them. I can tell you about 2 things, but other than that, I'm figuring it out as I go. Like I really don't know. Yeah. So Dan's here. He's saying, "Are you talking about Clubhouse?" Yes, I am trying to figure it out. So yeah, Dan, if you're on there, I think I'm going to host a room at some time tomorrow. I just don't know when. But yeah. Thank you. I'll check it out. Yeah, one, it's a fun if you're a wall sitter, right? If you just want to kind of go in and peek and see what it's about, there's been some really awesome conversations that I've had the opportunity to sit in and listen to. So yeah, it's pretty cool in that respect. I remember when podcasting was like that. The pioneers had no interest in the marketing side. Yeah, 100%. And I have met in doing what I do, I've met podcasters that have been doing this for 10, 15 years. And people are like, wait, podcasting hasn't been around for 15 years. Yeah, it has in a very open source platform that did not rely on iTunes or other big players. These were people that were simply trying to share messages. And you want to talk like they were coding everything that they did. And it was very grassroots. It was very like, what are you even doing? Because no one's ever going to listen to podcasts. Why are you even doing that? Yet they're still here and they're still going strong. And they know so much more about the evolution of podcast and they weren't in it to make millions of dollars, which I feel like a lot of people jump into podcasting. They're like, I'm going to get thousands of listeners and millions of downloads. And then they're sorely disappointed when that doesn't happen and they walk away. And I am just, I'm not about that. I'm more about making honest connection with people, having conversations, and really just sharing messages. That's really what it comes down to. And if you don't have everything like in your being to continue with your podcast because you're just like, "Ugh, if it's not making me a ton of money, then it's not worth it," then I don't know that you're cut out to be a podcaster. I'm just gonna be really honest with you. Like it may not be the platform for you, but if you think you're like, I think I can do this, I can do this podcasting thing, then I'd love for you to join us we have a free Facebook group. That's where a lot of people are watching right now. It's a Profit Podcast online community. If you're watching on YouTube, we have several videos that have links to the Facebook group. And I'd love for you to come and hang out with us and join in the conversation. I have plans to do a lot more live streams and live videos, a lot of demonstrations on what I do behind the scenes in my own podcast and my business. So I'd love to hear from y'all. I'd love to know what questions y'all have. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. So y'all have a fantastic Thursday. My brother-in-law calls it Blur's Day as we've gone through the pandemic. He's like, I just gave up. It's Blur's Day. It all blurs together. And that's kind of how I feel today. But y'all have a fantastic day. Let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the comments. I'll be sure to circle back and answer any of them. But as always, remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere. Bye, guys.